What's up, YouTube? And welcome to the Horror Zone with Zero. In this video, I'm going to be comparing two mystery horror boxes that were delivered in February. The reason why I say delivered is because the BAM horror box from January was delivered in February, so their monthly crate is delivered the next month. And Zobie's February box, which was delivered in February. So I'm comparing these two boxes, the BAM horror box from January and the Zobie Fright box from February. What I'm going to do in this video is I'm going to rank each of the items from the boxes in their respective categories. And then at the end of the video, I'm going to accumulate their point totals and give a final score, and the box with the highest score will be declared the winner for the mystery horror boxes delivered in February of 2023. Before I get into it, I do want to say if you do enjoy this video, feel free to give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button for more mystery box unboxing content. If you're really into horror, I also do horror movie reviews, so feel free to check those out as well. If you want to see the opening of these two boxes, I have those on my channel, so feel free to check those out after this video has concluded. Without further ado, let's get into our first category, which is the pin category. So now in my right hand, marked BAM, is our BAM horror pin, which is Pinhead. Very readable, very historical franchise. Hellraiser has been around for quite some time, and Pinhead is a very iconic horror movie villain. Zobie Fright is going with a newer franchise, A Quiet Place, and it's the child playing with his spaceship. You can see the backpack of the child, the back of the child playing with his spaceship. So these are the two that are going up against each other in this February released horror box. Let's talk about the Hellraiser pin first. It's a very readable pin. It's a very iconic villain. So for that, it's getting some pluses. However, it isn't unique. I'm sure prior to this BAM box, there have been millions of Hellraiser or Pinhead pins that look pretty similar to this. Now, I do want to note that depending upon the BAM box I get, some of the items could vary a little bit because they do release limited edition type stuff. So I'm just comparing what I got in my box for this month. But you can see a pretty straightforward pin. So pluses for the historical franchise, an iconic villain, and a readable pin. But we're going to get some negatives because it's not insanely unique. I'm sure we've seen this before. Now let's go over to our Zobie Fright, where we do have a newer franchise, so that's nice as well. It is a very good up-and-coming franchise. It's already released 2 movies, which were very good, and they're working on a 3rd as well. So that's a plus. We have a very good franchise. It's not like a knockoff franchise that you've never heard of, so I'm going to give that a plus. However, the pin isn't as readable, and it's somewhat hard to connect to the horror genre in general. So I'm going to knock it for that. When I first saw this pin, I couldn't tell what it was. It took me a minute or two to finally determine what the pin was and what franchise. If I put this on a pin board or somewhere, it may take someone a while to figure out that this is actually from A Quiet Place. They may never figure it out. So for that reason, I'm going to knock them. So that's the back of the pin. We don't want that. Anyway, for our BAM box pin in the January box, I'm going to give this a 6 out of 10. It's an iconic villain and the pin's readable. It's not insanely unique. Zobie, on the other hand, is a very good franchise, up-and-coming franchise, but it doesn't connect as much to the horror genre as I'd like, just for the fact that the pin isn't as readable, and it's not like scary or anything. I mean, I buy a horror box because I want scary shit, not the backpack of a kid playing with his toy. Great. So I'm going to give it a 5 out of 10. So our Pinhead gets a 6, and our Quiet Place gets a 5. So we're right now neck and neck. On to our next one, and now this category is a little vague because these two franchises or horror boxes do something different. For BAM, we have a prop, a Nosferatu license plate. For Zobie, we have a t-shirt, and we're going to have Enjoy Your Stay at the Overlook Hotel, a Shining t-shirt. So I'm going to compare these two. First, let's just talk about the t-shirt. This is an absolutely fantastic t-shirt. I like the yellow. This connects very well to a Shining. You have the room number, you have different scenes throughout the movie, you have the keys. This is just actually really dope in general. There's nothing on the back, just yellow. But this is an absolutely fantastic t-shirt. I love this t-shirt. The Shining is a great movie, a staple in the horror movie industry, as well as the horror book industry. If you know horror, you're probably going to know where this is from. So for that reason, I'm actually going to give this a 10 out of 10. This is an absolutely fantastic item. Nosferatu, on the other hand, is from a TV show, Nosferatu. Now, this was a TV show ran on AMC that actually only had 2 seasons. This was canceled after 2 seasons. This was also based on a novel, but it's not as well known of a novel as The Shining and Stephen King. On top of that, I'm not sure how many in the horror industry actually know of this TV show, especially with it being on AMC, a channel that not many people turn to. So while this is a cool item, you know what Nosferatu is in general, I'd say, and the blood on it is a really cool design. The name, cool as well. You can read it. It's a cool combination, so you know what it is. You may not necessarily know where it's from, and it's from a TV show that only had 2 seasons and has kind of died. So I gave a 10 to our Shining t-shirt. For this, I'm going to give it a 6 out of 10. It is a cool item, and it has holes to hang up on the wall, but it's not one from a franchise. They're like, oh yeah, I know exactly what that is. I know where that's from. That's a fantastic franchise type of thing. So it's an okay item, but not great. Now on to really the bread and butter of these crates. The art print and then the autograph. So let's talk about the art prints. For Zobie, they're sticking with the newer franchises with Smile art print. And damn, is that creepy. On the other side, our BAM box is sticking with the historical franchise in our Nightmare on Elm Street with Freddy Krueger. Both of these are absolutely fantastic. You can't go wrong with either if you are a horror movie fan. Smile is a brilliant new movie, creepy movie, and look at that chick's smile. That's just so creepy. You hang this on the wall, people are gonna freak out. It's gonna be one of those where it's like, holy shit, this is creepy as... On the other hand, you have Nightmare on Elm Street, Freddy Krueger. This is a really cool design of one of the villains that everyone knows. You hang this on the wall, somebody comes into your house, even if they're not a horror movie fan, they're probably going to know who Freddy Krueger is. He is just one of the most iconic villains ever to be put on the big screen. So both of these you can't go wrong with. Now for Smile, I am just looking at this. I love the horror aspect. It's a great movie, and just it captures the essence of the movie, just everything in the movie. It's a great print. For that, I'm going to give this a 10 out of 10. This is just a phenomenal horror print. I get creeped out by it. That's what I'm looking for when I get that horror box. I want creepy shit in it. So that's what this is. So great 10 out of 10. For our Freddy Krueger Nightmare on Elm Street print, this is a fantastic piece as well. Again, it's a horror movie icon. I like the design. It's a really unique design that stands out. However, kind of going back to what I said about the Hellraiser pin, we've probably seen a print like this. Maybe not exactly the design, but we've seen a bunch of Freddy Krueger Nightmare on Elm Street prints that have come out of Bambox, so it's nothing unique. So while I'm giving the Smile print a 10 out of 10 because it's a new franchise, it's a fantastic print, it's a creepy print. I love this because it is a horror movie icon. However, it isn't as unique as I'd maybe like. For that reason, I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10. Still a very solid 8 out of 10. A very nice item, and I'm probably going to hang this on my wall. But being as it's not unique, I know we've gotten a bunch from the Nightmare on Elm Street franchise from Bambox before. I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10. So now on to the final item, the autograph from both of these boxes. In our Bambox, we have Linda Blair. That's right, Linda Blair, who plays this creepy fuck from The Exorcist. Just an insane autograph and an insane picture to sign on. This is creepy as fuck, and if you've watched horror movies or kind of been into horror movies for a while, you probably know the name Linda Blair. She's been around for a while, starring in The Exorcist a few times. She's also been the host of Scariest Places on Earth. Now next, I'm going to have to grab this cheat sheet because I didn't know who this was. We have the voice actor for Psycho Gorman, Steven Vlahos. Now, this is a newer movie on Shudder exclusive. This print is really cool. Like, this picture is just so badass. I watched Psycho Gorman, and it is a fun movie to watch. It's not scary, it's a horror comedy, but it's a fun movie to watch, and I really enjoyed it. It's the voice actor, Steven Vlahos, of Psycho Gorman. So that's actually a pretty cool autograph. Very unique, probably not signed in a bunch, so that's a unique autograph. So now it's time to rank these two items. And I'm going to do a few things when ranking these items. I'm going to rank the autograph itself combined with the print it's on to give it its final ranking. Let's first go with Bam. Linda Blair is phenomenal. Stars in The Exorcist as well as other horror movies in this industry. This print itself is creepy as fuck. You take out her name and I'm still gonna love it. If this was the print, I would have loved this. But it's signed on top of that. That is so amazing, and it's an actress in the horror industry that you probably know. For that reason, I'm going to give this a 10 out of 10. This is a phenomenal item, and I was so stoked when I got this. On the other hand, we have Psycho Gorman. The print itself is just really cool. You look at it and you're like, yeah, it's pretty badass. However, Steven Vlahos, have you heard of him? I haven't. I had no idea who he was. I had to look him up. Now, I do have to do that with a decent amount of actors or actresses, but typically, if I look them up, I could say, oh yeah, I remember they were in that. A lot of actors and actresses I do that for. Steven Vlahos, I did that, and I'm like, yeah, I still have no idea who this guy is. So it is a unique autograph, but not one that I was craving to get. Sorry if Steven watches this. On top of that, Psycho Gorman is a franchise that a lot of people probably have never seen because a lot of people probably don't subscribe to Shudder. So that has to be another knock on the item. You have a franchise, or not even a franchise, just a movie that probably not a lot of people have seen. You have an actor that not a lot of people or anybody has heard of, but it is a pretty cool print that it's signed on. Again, we're comparing it to Linda Blair in a very popular franchise, The Exorcist, on top of a creepy-ass print. That's why I gave this a 10 out of 10. This, unfortunately, it just doesn't do it for me. It's a cool print, nice autograph, but it's really not an actor I was looking for or a franchise I was looking for anything from. A movie. I gotta stop saying franchise. A movie that I was looking for anything from. For that reason, I'm giving this a 4 out of 10. It just fails for me. So adding up the scores, the BAM box, we got a 6 for the pin. We got a 6 for the prop. We got an 8 for the art print and a 10 for the autograph. That adds up to 30 if my math's correct. On the other side for Zobie, we got a 5 on the pin, a 10 on the t-shirt, a 10 on the print. But the autograph, I gave a 4. So that only adds up to 29. A very close matchup in this comparison, but the winner for February, the boxes delivered in February, is BAM Box. But let me know in the comments section what y'all think. Did you have Zobie win in this one? Or are you in agreement with me and BAM taking the cake? Let me know. Zobie had a couple of good items, but unfortunately, just that autograph really tipped the scales in BAM's favor. So I hope you enjoyed this video. And if you did, feel free to give it a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button for more horror content. Until next time, stay spooky. Peace.